Howdy folks, I got myself into another situation where I need to provide drinks for a crowd. This time it's a favor for my brother-in-law. There is a work function that he asked me if I could help out with, so next week I'm going to drive up to Seattle and serve drinks. I'm going to make punch because that's really easy, but I'm also came up with a cocktail that I'd like to show you, so let's check it out. So it is October and it is spooky season and this event is spooky themed. So we decided that we would make a Corpse Reviver #2 because Corpse Reviver is a spooky name. I just recently made Corpse Reviver on the channel, so I'm not gonna go over all that again, but you can definitely check out that video if you want to. I also just made punch on the channel, and this punch is going to follow a very similar procedure, minus the milk wash and without the blue coloring. I'm going for a fall spiced punch, a pumpkin spice, if you will. I've got some leftover rye from the Rye Showdown, and I've got some decent brandy that I'm gonna use. I'm again gonna start with an oleosaccharum. This time I'm gonna put cinnamon and clove in with the citrus peels, and I'm hoping that some cinnamon clove spice will make it through to the drink. If I need to, I can always add some allspice dram to the final punch to pump up the fall flavors. I will again use black tea to dissolve the oleosaccharum. And I will use the lemon juice from the lemons that I peeled. I'm going to dilute this with water after I get there to make transportation easier. And that should be tasty. Now, on to the cocktail. We had this idea to make a mezcal-based drink but use beet syrup in order to sweeten it, and we're going to call it the Beetlejuice. This sounds like a great idea to me. But before we can make the cocktail, we have to make beet syrup. There are two ways I thought to make beet syrup. A fairly complicated way that I'm going to show you right now, and a more simple way, which is what I will do for the party. First off, the complicated way. I got some beets from the grocery store. I peeled them. I chopped them up. I roasted them with some olive oil in the oven until they were soft, maybe 35 or 40 minutes. Then I took the roasted beets and I put them in the sous vide with an equal weight of sugar and an equal weight of water. I cooked that in the sous vide at 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. Then I strained it out, and there you go. It's a very beety syrup. Now, for the party, I went to the store and I found this beet juice. I'm just gonna mix this equal parts with sugar, and I should have a reasonable beet syrup. Easy. Now, on to the cocktail. This is gonna be a mezcal-based, boozy stirred cocktail. It's gonna be sweetened with a ½ ounce of our beet syrup. I'm gonna lengthen it out a bit as well with some dry vermouth. And to round things out and give it a little bit more body, I'm gonna put in a ½ ounce of Cynar. Let's go mix it up. All right, we did it. We made our Beetlejuice cocktail. I mean, it looks great. It's got like a really nice dark red color, so, you know, sort of a rich blood color. Love it. Also, this might not work for the drink at the event, but the olive oil that was left over on the beets made it through to the syrup, and it's got a nice little sort of sheen on top, which is kind of cool. I don't know. Olive oil in your drink is not bad. All right. It's got a strong mezcal flavor, but it's not overpowering. It's got a nice, like, that sort of vegetal note from the Cynar really helps. It's definitely sweet enough, and it's got this sort of savory quality from the beets. I think that's delicious. It's definitely boozy. It's like a boozy stirred drink, but I think hopefully that'll be popular. I wonder if it needs maybe like an orange zest on top or something. Something to break it up a little bit. Let me just go grab an orange peel real quick. Okay, I got an orange peel. I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz that on top and see if that changes matters. I think it's a little brighter that way. Yeah, I think that I might go ahead and do that. I might go ahead and get some oranges for this event. All right, cool. I think this drink is dialed in pretty good. Okay, so I think I'll leave it right here for now. When you next see me, the event will have happened, and I can go over how it went and tell you all the mistakes I made. All right, we'll see you then. Okay, I'm back from Seattle. The event was pretty smooth, went pretty well. Now, I was over-prepared, which to be honest is typical of me. To be fair, they did say there were 30 or 35 RSVPs, so I was prepared to make like 2 or 3 drinks for like 30 people. But what really happened was maybe 15 people showed up, maybe 10 or 11 of those actually even wanted a drink. So I only really ended up making like maybe 15 drinks. And that was over the course of maybe, I don't know, 2 or 2.5 hours. There was a lot of standing around. So yeah, I had a lot of leftover booze, leftover lemon juice, leftover beet syrup, leftover punch, leftover everything. But I'd rather have extra than run out, so, you know, it all worked out fine. Now, I was a little worried going into this because I didn't really have a lot of information about the space or how it would all work, but it all worked out fine. There was like a tall table for me to set up on. It was right by a sink that I could use to dump ice. So yeah, it all worked out great. So I found that I wanted the bottles on my right as I was standing there, because I find that I always grab the bottle with my right hand, and so that made everything a lot faster. Speaking of faster, I brought some speed pourers with me to use. Speed pourers are great. There's a reason why every bar in the world uses speed pourers. If you're a home bartender, you don't really need them, but if you're gonna do an event, get yourself some speed pourers. They really make things a lot easier. Everyone seemed to enjoy the cocktails. I probably made twice as many Corpse Survivors as I did Beetlejuice cocktails, and got rid of a fair amount of punch, but I still came home with probably 1.5 bottles of punch, which, by the way, I did put in allspice dram, nocino, and a little sfumato to give it the fall flavors. And yeah, a little bit of allspice dram goes a long way. This is delicious punch. Man, I love punch. It's so forgiving. I'm very sort of loosey-goosey with the whole punch recipe, but it really doesn't matter. Like, as long as you put in some lemon, some booze, some water, some sugar, nothing can go wrong. You can sort of tweak it after the fact, and everything always works out fine. Punch is a wonder. Now, I don't usually bartend for a lot of people at a time, so I was a little bit nervous going into it, but it all worked out fine. My main key takeaway is that people aren't gonna drink as much as you think they are. You find yourself in this situation and you find out how many people are gonna be at a party, and you're trying to think how much to bring to be prepared to make drinks for this number of people. People don't drink as much as you think they're going to. Most people don't think about cocktails as much as you do. As the cocktail person, I'm obsessed with thinking about cocktails, and if I was at this event, I'd be trying, you know, multiple drinks, but a lot of people just aren't that into it. So you can scale back your expectations of how much people are gonna drink. You know, don't bring as much as you think you need to. You probably won't need it. All right, hopefully that was fun and or informative. If you like this sort of content, put a comment down below. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.